I want you to imagine for a moment that you're standing at the threshold of your life, that everything you have dreamed of, everything you have hoped for, everything you have ever imagined is within your grasp. Yet I tell you that the only thing standing between you and your destiny is your mind. I have spent a lifetime studying the lives of men who have risen from poverty to power. And I have discovered that it is not circumstance, it is not luck, it is the thought patterns, the belief systems, and the persistence of the mind that determines the destiny of any human being. I remember clearly what I wrote in Think and Grow Rich. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve. And I tell you this truth because it is the foundation of everything you will ever accomplish. I have walked among men who had nothing, yet they possessed a burning desire so intense that they refused to accept defeat. I have seen men stand up after ruin, after betrayal, after failure, and rise higher than ever before because they understood the law that every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. I want you to hear these words and know them not as advice, but as law, as principle, as something that operates in the universe. Whether you acknowledge it or not, it is not your circumstances that create your destiny. It is your mind, and your mind alone. I have learned that fear is the enemy of achievement, that it is the voice that whispers that you are not enough, that the world is against you, that your dreams are impossible. I have written in Think and Grow Rich that fear is nothing more than a state of mind, and that courage is the mastery of fear, not the absence of it. You will be tested by fear. Every day you will be tempted to quit. You will be surrounded by those who doubt and those who ridicule. Yet you must remember that fear cannot rule you unless you invite it to rule you. Your mind is a fortress, and only you hold the key. Persistence is the companion of desire and the bridge between thought and accomplishment. I have studied men who achieved greatness, and the common thread among them all was the refusal to quit. I wrote that lack of persistence is one of the major causes of failure. And I assure you that it is the truth. The man who persists when others give up, who continues to pursue when the path is dark, who believes when doubt surrounds him, is the man who reaches heights that others only dream of. You must make persistence your habit. You must cultivate it as if your life depends upon it, because in truth it does. I want you to understand the power of the subconscious mind. It never sleeps, it never judges, it listens to every word you think and acts upon it without hesitation. I have said that whatever you impress upon the subconscious mind through repeated thought and belief becomes your reality. Therefore, be careful of the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. Feed it with faith, with courage, with belief, and it will construct for you a world in harmony with your desires. Feed it with fear, with doubt, with indecision, and it will construct for you a world of frustration and defeat. You must define a clear purpose for your life, a definite chief aim that is so compelling that it consumes your thoughts and your attention. I have written that a person without a definite purpose is like a ship without a rudder. I have seen men drift through life, reacting to circumstances, allowing events to shape them, allowing others to dictate their destiny. They are the unfortunate many. You must be the captain of your soul. You must decide what you will achieve and pursue it with single-minded devotion. I remember speaking with Andrew Carnegie about the importance of masterminding, about the alliance of minds that work in harmony toward a single purpose. I learned that no man rises to great heights alone, that the accumulation of knowledge and the cooperation of minds creates a force that bends circumstances to your will. I have written that two minds working together can achieve more than twice what a single mind can achieve. This is why you must surround yourself with men and women who elevate your thinking, not diminish it, who challenge you, not placate you, who believe in your purpose as passionately as you do. Imagination is the workshop of the mind where all plans are created and all desires are shaped into form. I have written that ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes, and I have witnessed men convert a single idea into empires through action and persistence. I want you to understand that your imagination is not for idle daydreaming. It is your creative laboratory. It is where you test your thoughts, where you shape your strategies, where you prepare for the victories to come. Do not ignore it, cherish it, develop it, and most importantly, act upon it. I have also discovered that decision is the mastery of procrastination. The man who hesitates, who waits for perfect conditions, who delays action because of fear or doubt, will never achieve greatness. I have written that the habit of decision is the mastery of procrastination, and without it, you will find yourself at the mercy of circumstance. I urge you to make decisions promptly, and to act upon them courageously. To decide and act is to claim control over your destiny, and to surrender control is to surrender to mediocrity. I have witnessed the power of faith in action. I have written that faith is a state of mind that may be induced by auto-suggestion, and I have seen men literally change their circumstances by developing faith in themselves, their abilities, and their purpose. Faith is the foundation of all miracles and all success. If you lack faith, you will be paralyzed by doubt. If you possess faith, you will move mountains and overcome obstacles that appear insurmountable. You must beware of negative influences of all kinds. I have studied the environment of the mind and discovered that people who allow negativity to dominate their thoughts destroy their potential. I have written that you are the average of the 5 people you associate with most, and it is true. You must cultivate relationships with those who uplift you, who encourage your growth, who believe in the power of your vision, and who challenge you to be more than you were yesterday. Avoid those who drain your energy, who plant seeds of doubt, who attempt to control your destiny through their opinions and fears. You must understand the importance of taking action. I have seen men plan endlessly, hesitate endlessly, and fail endlessly, while others who acted imperfectly achieved everything they desired. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. You may have the strongest desire, you may possess the clearest vision, you may have faith unshakable, yet without action, it is all wasted effort. I have written that knowledge is only potential power until it is organized into definite plans and directed through practical action. You must learn to master adversity and turn it into opportunity. I have written that every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit, and I have observed this principle operate in the lives of countless men and women. The man who can see opportunity in defeat, who can extract lessons from failure, who can convert misfortune into advantage, is the man who ultimately succeeds. Your setbacks are your greatest teachers if you allow them to be. You must cultivate a mind free of doubt and fear. I have said that doubts are the primary cause of failure. They are poison to desire and destruction. To faith, the moment you entertain doubt, you weaken your will. You must replace doubt with unwavering belief. You must replace fear with courage. You must replace hesitation with action. Until you do, your mind will remain a battlefield, and your progress will be stalled. I have seen the power of persistence, faith, imagination, and action converge in the life of a single individual, and the results are extraordinary. I have written that there is no such thing as failure except in your own mind. You may fall, you may stumble, you may be rejected, yet these are only temporary conditions, and not a statement of your potential. If you rise again, stronger and wiser, you will achieve what others thought impossible. The habit of accurate thinking is essential. I have said that men who accumulate great fortunes are not necessarily smarter than others, but they think differently. They analyze, they evaluate, they distinguish facts from opinions. They do not allow emotion to cloud their judgment, and they act upon truth. This is why you must cultivate the ability to think clearly and act decisively. You must gather facts, you must weigh them, you must plan. Your decisions must be informed and purposeful. I will conclude this part by reminding you that your mind is the most valuable asset you possess. It is the tool by which you create your destiny. It is the vessel through which your thoughts and desires are transformed into reality. I have written, and I repeat, that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Protect it, nurture it, feed it with positive thoughts, strengthen it through discipline and action, and it will lead you to the heights of achievement and fulfillment that you were born to claim. Now I want you to imagine that you have awakened to the truth that your mind is the only limit to your success, that every thought you think, every decision you make, every action you take either builds your fortune or destroys it. I have spent decades observing men and women who harnessed this power, and the one constant among them was the clarity of purpose. I have written that a definite purpose backed by a burning desire is the starting point of all achievement. You must know exactly what you want in life and refuse to settle for anything less. I have seen men conquer fear. By replacing it with faith, I have written that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And I tell you that when faith dominates your mind, fear cannot exist. You will be confronted by naysayers, by critics, by those who seek to dissuade you, yet their voices carry no power. Unless you allow it, your faith must be unshakable, unyielding, and unwavering. It must guide your thoughts and govern your actions. I have studied the art of persistence and discovered that it is the most essential quality of all I have written. That lack of persistence is one of the major causes of failure. The man who persists when others quit, who continues when all seems lost, who rises again and again in the face of defeat, is the man who ultimately achieves greatness. You must train yourself to persist without hesitation, without complaint, without doubt. It is through persistence that desire becomes reality, through persistence that thought becomes action, through persistence that dreams are transformed into achievement. The imagination of man is the workshop in which all plans are created. I have observed men who converted ideas into empires and fortunes. Through the use of organized planning, I have written that ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes. And I repeat that without action, imagination is only idle fancy. You must feed your mind with creative thoughts. You must envision solutions. You must plan relentlessly and act decisively. For every problem there is a solution, and your imagination is the key to finding it. I have seen the power of the mastermind operate in the lives of great men. I have written that the coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people who work toward a definite purpose creates a force that no single mind can generate alone. When you surround yourself with allies who share your vision, you multiply your power. You gain ideas, you gain encouragement, you gain accountability. You must seek out those who inspire you, who challenge you, who elevate your thinking above the ordinary. The mastermind is a force multiplier. It is the key to transforming ordinary plans into extraordinary results. I have discovered that decision is the cure for procrastination. I have written that successful people make decisions promptly and change them slowly. If at all, indecision is the enemy of progress. Hesitation allows doubt to enter your mind, and doubt destroys opportunity. You must train yourself to make decisions courageously, to act upon them immediately, and to adapt when necessary. Hesitation will never create wealth. Action will. Action backed by knowledge, backed by faith, backed by persistence will achieve anything. I have observed men who overcame every form of adversity by turning their setbacks into opportunity. I have written that every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. The man who views obstacles as temporary tests rather than permanent barriers develops the ability to extract lessons from every failure. You must look at your difficulties as opportunities to grow, to learn, to strengthen your resolve, to refine your strategy. The challenges you face are not punishments, they are instruments to sculpt your character and sharpen your mind. I have seen the effect of fear and negative emotion on achievement, and I have written that fears are nothing more than a state of mind. You must replace fear with courage. You must cultivate optimism. You must train your mind to dwell on possibilities rather than limitations. The moment you allow fear to dominate your thoughts, you give away your power. The moment you choose courage, you reclaim it. You are the master of your mind, and therefore the master of your destiny. I have discovered that autosuggestion is a powerful tool. I have written that every thought which is repeated impresses itself upon the subconscious mind and influences behavior. I urge you to use this principle intentionally, to feed your mind with positive beliefs, with strong desire, with the certainty of success. When you repeatedly impress upon your mind the images of your desired success, your subconscious works tirelessly to bring them into reality. You must guard your thoughts as a shepherd guards his flock, for they determine your fate. I have observed that accurate thinking is a habit that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. I have written that men who accumulate great fortunes are not necessarily more intelligent than others, but they are able to think clearly and act decisively. They distinguish facts from opinions. They analyze, they evaluate, they plan, they act. They do not allow emotion to cloud their judgment. You must develop the ability to see reality as it is and act upon it without hesitation or confusion. I have studied men who achieved extraordinary wealth and influence, and I have seen that they all acted upon their plans with faith and persistence. I have written that faith is a state of mind which may be induced by autosuggestion, and that persistence is the power that bridges the gap between desire and achievement. You must combine these qualities. You must feed your mind with belief. You must act with determination and refuse to quit. Until you succeed, your mind will create your destiny, if you will only give it the proper direction. I have discovered that the habit of controlling your thoughts is essential to success. I have written that a man who cannot control his own mind cannot control his destiny. You must master the art of focusing on what you desire and ignoring what you fear. You must discipline yourself to dwell on solutions rather than problems, on opportunity rather than limitation, on action rather than hesitation. The mind that is disciplined becomes a magnet for success and a fortress against defeat. I have studied the law of attraction and observed it in operation. I have written that your mind attracts whatever you think about most intensely and consistently. If you fill your mind with fear, doubt, and negativity, you attract defeat. If you fill your mind with faith, belief, and positive expectation, you attract opportunity. You must guard your thoughts. You must cultivate optimism. You must train your mind to dwell on success. You must impress upon your subconscious mind the certainty of your achievement. I have seen men achieve their desires by acting in the face of uncertainty. I have written that indecision and procrastination are enemies of achievement. The moment you take action, you gain confidence. The moment you act with purpose, you overcome fear. The moment you commit fully, you set into motion forces that align circumstances in your favor. You must act decisively. You must act persistently until your objectives are realized. I have observed that adversity is a necessary ingredient of success. I have written that temporary defeat is a stepping stone to success. The man who understands this principle turns obstacles into advantages. He learns, he adapts, he grows stronger, he discovers reserves of strength he never imagined existed. You must adopt this mindset. You must see challenges as opportunities to sharpen your skills, to test your determination, to strengthen your character. I have studied the habits of the wealthy and influential, and I have written that their power lies in their mind, not their circumstances. They control their thoughts, they control their actions, they control their emotions. They do not surrender to fear or doubt or criticism. They persist, they plan, they act, they believe. Their lives are a testimony to the truth that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. I have discovered that the path to success is built upon repeated action, upon desire, upon faith, upon persistence, and upon the guidance of accurate thinking. I have written that success comes to those who become success conscious, those who see opportunity where others see difficulty, those who act decisively, those who refuse to quit, those who refuse to be influenced by negativity, those who believe in the power of their own mind. I have observed that the combination of these principles creates a force that no adversity can withstand, that no failure can halt, that no fear can dominate. It is a force that elevates men above mediocrity. It is a force that transforms dreams into reality. I have written, and I now tell you that when you master your mind, when you feed it with faith, desire, persistence, imagination, accurate thought, and action, your destiny is no longer in doubt. I have concluded that life responds to the mind that masters itself. I have written that the mind that is disciplined and directed becomes a magnet for opportunity and success. You must take full responsibility for your thoughts. You must control them, you must guide them, you must act upon them with purpose and persistence. Your mind is the key, your mind is the instrument, your mind is your greatest asset, and it will lead you to achievements beyond your imagination if you will only obey its laws. Remember that whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Fear cannot prevent you, doubt cannot stop you, criticism cannot divert you, action will carry you forward, persistence will secure your progress, faith will guide your path, and the law of your mind will create your destiny. You must claim it, you must embrace it, you must act upon it without hesitation, without doubt, without fear, for your thoughts are the blueprint of your future, and the moment you take control of them, you take control of your